Good evening and welcome to May 14, 2018 Valley View School District Board meeting. Mr. Berduris, would you please lead us in the pledge? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Sikora, could you please read the affirmation of the Board of Education mission statement?
Can we do it?
Yes, please.
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you. Mr. Gerzafi, the agenda, please.
The recommendation is to approve the agenda as proposed.
So moved.
All those in favor say yes. Say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Mr. Gerzafi, the Treasurer's report, please.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.1 for the month of April includes the usual financial reports, balance sheet, summary of revenue expenditures, and the interim obligation payments totaling $4,801,057.12 for your consideration this evening.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Burduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Yes. Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is a schedule of bills for the month of May 2018. We have 5 funds representing total bills payable of $2,085,792.29 for your action this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Burduris?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Treasurer's Information Report 5.3, Summary of Investments, 5.4, State Funding Update, and 5.5, All Schools Trust Account Activity are there for your information and any questions you might have.
No questions. Okay. Consent agenda items, Mr. Gerzafi.
Recommendation is to approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.7 as presented.
Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Burduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Trustee Laura, could you come up and discuss this, please?
Good evening. Thank you for your consideration and acceptance of the grant program for 2018-2019. As was listed in your memo, we have received a grant request for 79 grants of nearly $85,000. And the foundation has been able to fund $42,000 of that. I do want to also recognize the fact that we met with district administration and through cooperation, extremely positive cooperation with the district and discussion, we are now able to fund an additional $27,000 of grant funds. We are basically looking for an additional $10,000 yet this year to fund the remaining grants. But it's been a very successful grant review process, and we're very appreciative of the community support for the grants, for the grant, the donations that we have coming in. Those who, all grant recipients will be notified of their status, I would expect this week, if not early next week. The funds that were provided by the district will need to be encumbered or spent otherwise items ordered before the end of this school year. So it's very important for those who are receiving money from the district. And we'll make sure you know it right away, that spend now, and encourage people. That usually gets people to order things right away. You know, the green light is to go spend the money now. So we'll identify those folks specifically. Any questions from the board at all? We usually provide a high-level account of the request and then notify, open up the information who specifically got the grants after they have been notified. So we'll make it public.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate. No, thank you, Mike. We appreciate what you guys do for us.
All right.
Is there anybody else here tonight that has given a donation?
One last comment. We do still have some room in the Foundation Golf Outing Friday, June 7th. It's a 9 and dine format at Bolingbrook Golf Club, and it starts at 2 o'clock. If you look up on Eventbrite for Valley View Education Foundation Golf Outing, you'll find information on that. And it is fairly full, so I would hurry to get in as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. We would like to also thank Mayor Claire for donating to Independence and J.R. Tibbetts for their gifts, his gifts to those schools. We have student and staff recognition. First, we're going to skip around to because they have band practice, the Illinois State Seal of the Biliteracy.
Good evening. My name is Angie Beam, and I'm the World Languages Department Chair at Bolingbrook High School.
And I'm Kelly Slowinski, the World Languages Department Chair at Romeoville High School. It is our honor and privilege to be presenting the Seal of Biliteracy Awards tonight.
The Seal of Biliteracy is a national movement to recognize students for proficiency in English and another language. In order to achieve this accolade, students had to score an average of 480 on last year's SAT in evidence-based reading and writing, or as an English language learner, met English proficiency on the Access Assessment.
These students also demonstrated at least intermediate high proficiency in reading, writing, speaking, and listening in another language. This proficiency level is just below what is required for language teachers in Illinois. In addition to being recognized tonight with a certificate and a t-shirt, all students will have a notation of this honor on their transcript and diploma. RHS students are also given purple honor cords that will be worn at graduation.
And students, to just keep this process moving, you can grab your t-shirts outside the auditorium because we know some of the students need to get on to the band ceremony. We are proud to share that the number of recipients has grown from 22 to 142 in just 3 short years. We recognize and thank our ESL and World Languages Department teachers for their time, dedication, and hard work that have made our students' success possible. At this time, it is our pleasure to now present to you the RHS and BHS recipients of the Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy. Please hold your applause until all student names have been read. And we will start with RHS.
Juan Bermudez. Jonathan Candia. Leslie Corona. Eduardo Cortez. Sebastian De La Torre. Abigail Diaz. Tiffany Flores. Adriana Gutierrez. Allison Hayes. Elizabeth Hermosillo. Clemencia Hernandez. Elena Hood. Titani Johnson. Caitlin Jones. Catherine Kerwin. Martha Lopez. Alec Mager, Angelica Mullen, Brenda Olaz, Viviana Ortega, Dianora Osmani, Fabian Pantoja, Ashley Pitt, Samantha Rementeria, Luis Rodriguez, Guadalupe Sanchez, Ernesto Saravia, Paulina Sleds, Danielle Spatz, Alexandra Sweetie, Misae Ubaldo Valdez Dominguez, Sori Yila, Jesus Zavala, and Joanna Zich. That concludes our RHS recipients.
Okay, and from BHS, we have Haley Carr for Spanish, Nada Elaga for Spanish and Arabic, Itzel Jimenez for French and Spanish, Anais LaForest for Spanish, Gisela Martinez for Spanish, Kimberly McKay for Spanish, Mia Melendez for Spanish, Alyssa Millar for Spanish, Karsim Mirza for Spanish, Samrana Nazib for French, Mildred Nieves for Spanish, Melanie Oviedo for Spanish and French, Calissa Pampu for Spanish, Nicole Pacala for Spanish, Leslie Sanchez for Spanish, Trinity Scott for French, Keegan Walgren for Spanish, and Katrina Yep for Spanish. Thank you. Oh, one more. I'm sorry. I forgot Tony Olea for Spanish. Lo siento.
Okay, the Romeoville Knights of Columbus. My brother knight, Mr. Gary Hoffman, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. President and distinguished board. Members, faculty members, students, it's my honor tonight to disperse a little over $6,000 to the Valley View School District, various schools. This is part of the Tootsie Roll program. It happens the third weekend every year in September. And we collect this money for the intellectual disability students. And I want to applaud the teachers that do a tremendous job every day. I'm sure it's not easy. So with that said, BJ Ward, could you please come up? Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you. Romeoville High School. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Lukanzik. Thank you so much. Hermanson. Goff. Early Childhood Center. Thank you so much. AVM. Irene King. The last one, R.C. Hill. And by the way, R.C. Hill was the one that received the $100 bonus for collecting the most money. Congratulations. Thank you. By the way, our event this year is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of September. And rest assured that I'm chairing it again this year. This is my 18th year I'm chairing this event. So I will be around probably the last week of August, first week in September, with the collecting canisters and all the literature and everything that goes along with it. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Just want to let people know how much work Gary spends doing on this. I'm a Brother Knight also. He's driven. He takes a lot of his personal time to go out there, and sometimes early in the morning, he's the only one out there collecting. So we appreciate it, Gary, for what you do for us. Thank you. Okay, we have the Family Care Community Leaders of America state qualifiers from Bolingbrook. Dr. Piskevich.
Dr. Jason Paskevich, principal of Bolingbrook High School. I'd like to thank the community. I'd like to thank the Board of Education. And today I am going to introduce Miss Taylor, our sponsor.
Thank you. Thank you, Valley View Board of Education and Dr. Paskevich. I am the advisor to FCCLA, and I am very proud of these young ladies. They are first-year members of a national organization that promotes career and leadership, FCCLA. Many of them did not know each other, and over the year, they have worked hard, supported one another, pushed their limits, and showed leadership. They became friends. It started with a visit from Kathleen Kinney, a BHS alum who had graduated from Sullivan University. She came and demonstrated pastry techniques for a group of BHS students who became very interested in learning more about FCCLA. FCCLA is a national organization directly related to family and consumer science classes, such as child development, fashion design, and culinary classes in the career and technical department at BHS. What FCCLA helps students do, it helps develop career skills and learn to balance career and family responsibilities. They experience the connection between career and technical and academic skills. It improves self-esteem, practice, and apply creative and critical thinking. It helps them to understand themselves and their relationships with others. It develops a personal leadership style, and it identifies concerns, make decisions, and carry out activities. The BHS affiliate of Family Career and Community Leaders of America attended the Illinois FCCLA State Conference Unmaxed Your Potential in Springfield on April 12th. 6 students traveled to showcase their knowledge, talents, and creativity, and dedication in the areas of pastry of arts and fashion. They came home with 4 gold medals and 2 silver. So the first one I'm gonna call, I'll have Gina. First I'm gonna call Gina Kalahari, is a junior this year, and she has taken fashion and foods and nutrition. when she decided to join FCCLA. She competed in personal career image as a personal buyer in the fashion industry. She received a silver medal. Congratulations. Jayshawna Smith is a junior this year, and she is currently in culinary classes. She competed in Pastry of Arts and achieved a gold. Next year, she would like to compete in culinary, where she can win a scholarship. Congratulations. Rachel Odami. Rachel Odami is a sophomore and was in foods and nutrition when she decided to check out FCCLA. She competed in Pastry of Arts and she achieved gold. She is looking into a future in pastry and owning her own business. Megan O'Donnell. Megan O'Donnell is a junior, and she came with her friend to check things out. She has not been able to take any family and consumer science classes. However, we felt that she was a wonderful addition to the group. She competed in Pastry of Arts and achieved a gold. Next year, she'd like to compete in child development. Congratulations. We are missing 2 other students, and they are Dana Hinchley is a junior and was able to take foods and nutrition class where she showcased her talent. She competed in pastry arts and she achieved a gold. And then Janaea Sanders, who's a sophomore, she took foods and nutrition and wanted to advance her knowledge of pastry and art and decided to compete. She is a big competitor, actually. She achieved a silver. So next year, they are all planning to compete at nationals, so watch out. Thank you.
Next, we have the IHSA Journalism State Final Qualifiers from Bolingbrook.
Hi, thank you for recognizing these students. It means a lot to them and to me as well. On April 21st, we were one school out of numerous that competed for state qualification. 500 students compete to be qualified for State for Journalism. We had 2 state qualifiers, and only 60 make it down. So we were 2 out of those 60. Quite an accomplishment. I would like to recognize Janine Cadau for her photo storytelling state qualifier, and Carla Villegas for her copy editing. These ladies have a bright future.
Next, we have the middle school math contest champions, Miss Chrissy V, the director of 6 through 12 math and science.
Thank you. We're here tonight to honor the individual award winners from our middle school math contest. This was our 8th year running. Unfortunately, our 6th grade math contest champion, Anthony Santiago from Brooks Middle School, could not be with us tonight, but I did want to recognize his name. From 7th grade, we had a tie. From Jane Addams Middle School, Connor Tynan, and from Brooks Middle School, Miguel Erregan. At the 8th grade level, we had another tie. From Jane Addams, Patrick Mugg, and from Jane Addams, Robbie Mosher. And at our algebra contest, our winner was from Jane Addams, Muiwa Orolo. Our overall school winner was from Jane Adams, and this was the sixth year in a row that Jane Adams took that trophy home, and it was supposed to be here tonight for her to take it home, but we heard it's already at her building. So I apologize she can't have Pythagoras here, but I wanted Carrie to be recognized. This is her last year. She's retiring, and so we're going to miss her after this.
Next, we have the Pillars of Valley View. Presenting for Irene King is Principal Ms. Vasek.
Good evening, school board members, senior leadership, community members. So what do you call an educator that does it all? We call that educator Shannon Ham. Shannon Ham, for 13 years, has supported students in Valley View School District as a dedicated teacher. She is also a product of Valley View School District, and ironically, she attended Irene King Elementary School. Thank you. We are fortunate to have her in our building in the capacity of supporting educators and students as our teaching and learning coach. In this role, she has spent time in the classroom with teachers to improve instruction and coaching teachers, which has had a significant impact on student outcomes. In addition, Shannon's classroom is a sanctuary for teachers to come and rewind and recharge. You guys got to come visit her classroom. It's amazing. Shannon also plays a very important role in our school community. She has helped plan STEM night, reading night, multicultural night, and career day. She's an active member of our BIT team and has helped coordinate our staff walking challenge. My team did not win.
We didn't either.
They didn't either, second place. You could also call her our resident photographer, as she has documented the wonderful learning in our school through a monthly montage of photos that she shares in a video. We truly believe that Shannon's dedication to the staff and students at Irene King make her a very deserving as being honored of the pillar of Valley View School District. So thank you, Shannon, for all you do.
Also for the Pillars of Valley View, presenting for AVM is Principal Ms. DiDanato.
Good evening, Board of Education, senior leadership, and Valley View community. It is my absolute privilege to introduce you to Mrs. Samantha Bowman, Martinez Middle School's Pillar of Valley View. You may have recognized her from her last appearance at the April 16th board meeting, where she helped explain the benefits of block scheduling at the middle school level. As I sat in the crowd that evening and listened to her present about the importance of building relationships with students and how as educators we can challenge our learners to grow more than they ever expected, I thought to myself, she gets it. The woman who stands next to me this evening has broken every glass ceiling that has ever existed for our learners. Case in point, she asked to meet with me last week so that she could add more students to her class rosters next year, so she could work with more kids, so she could challenge more of our learners to grow. She asked to schedule more students with learning difficulties into her co-taught classes and schedule more students from non-honors classes into her honors next year to challenge them. As I mentioned before, she gets it. To end the school year, our staff at AVM nominated their peers for staff superlatives. For the teacher most likely to inspire, Samantha Bowman. Our Viking staff knows that she gets it too. Mrs. Bowman is a valued teammate and has had an incredible impact on our entire learning community in the 4.5 short years she's been with us. Thank you, Samantha Bowman, for the work and dedication you put forth to serve the Romeyville community and Valley View School District. It is an honor to know you and be able to work with you.
Thank you both. Next, we have the American School Council Association, RAMP, recognition. Ms. Dolorette Payton, Director of College and Career Readiness.
Good evening. Good evening, Valley View School Board officers, members, and Valley View staff and families that are still here tonight. Question: how are students different as a result of what school counselors do? Schools that receive the rigorous American School Counselor Association's recognized ASCA model program, also known as RAMP, designation, can answer that question and give you data to prove it. I am proud to recognize two of our Valley View school counseling programs tonight that received the coveted RAMP designation this year: Lukanzik Middle School and Romeoville High School, which is our first high school to receive RAMP. Schools that receive, yes, let's clap for them. Schools that receive the RAMP designation are honored for making an exemplary commitment to comprehensive, data-driven school counseling programs. Applying for this designation involves a lot of hard work. In fact, we started last June with a Valley View RAMP camp where they started collecting their data, the information, and writing the narratives that they were going to use to submit in October. The designation is good for 5 years, after which time schools must reapply to maintain their RAMP status. For 2018, these two schools are among the 140 schools in 23 states to receive the RAMP designation, and they will be recognized during a special ceremony at the American School Counselor Association National Conference in July. Just to give you some perspective of how rare this designation is, there are over 1,500 secondary schools in the state of Illinois and over 35,000 in the United States. As of 2017, there have only been 800 programs to receive the RAMP designation, and only 20 programs in the entire state of Illinois, and 2 of those are Brooks Middle School and Jane Addams that got it last year, to receive this designation. So to the Lukanzik and Romeoville High School counseling teams, thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. Please come forward as I call your name. Tracy Miller, Interim Executive Director, is going to help me. Felicia Coster from Lukanzik Middle School. And Sarah Doms from Lukanzik Middle School. Did you all want them to come around and shake your hands? From Romeoville High School, Dr. Michael Aguilar. Mrs. Nicole Igizio. Mrs. Sarah Fortier. Laura Gilagli. Ms. Ann Hudson. And Kathleen, we call her Katie Schley. You all can come around and shake hands. Great work, and we look forward to having another RAMP school next year.
Okay, the high school liaison report. Who would like to go first? Okay, so it's going to be Romeoville.
Good evening, members of the board. We'd like to finish the year off by thanking you for this opportunity to come and present to you. We would like to recommend you open this opportunity up to more than a handful of students. We hope that more students will be given the opportunity to practice their public speaking skills and to collaborate with you on the next school year.
Good evening. We are also extremely proud to announce that for the third consecutive year, Romeoville High School has been nationally recognized as a Bronze Medal award-winning school by U.S. News and World Report. We would like to thank the students, staff, and administration for all of their hard work that has gone and led into this outstanding accomplishment.
Next, we would like to show you this 1-minute clip of our upcoming Lipped Up video. This video has allowed us to create partnerships both inside and outside of our building and provide a fun learning environment. We would like to thank Jacob Suffren and Dalton DeVries, RHS alumni, who filmed, edited, and produced this video. The full video will be released later this week.
Last but not least, we would like to personally thank our administration and staff for always keeping an open door policy at our school. We're able to bring up numerous ideas and have them support it. This allows us numerous opportunities for both growth inside and outside the classroom. We would like to thank our teachers at RHS for another great school year. We are appreciative of the hard work and dedication they put in and day out.
That's all we have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for your time and good night.
Oh, 1 second, we have a question for you.
Ladies, I have a question for you. Come back to the mic.
Yes?
You said we should have this open up to more. How many students do you recommend that we would open it up to?
Well, this year we had about, was it 5 or 6 liaisons, and we did like rotations throughout every board meeting, so I think it'd be very beneficial if there was a different set of students for each board meeting, just because it's such a great opportunity to practice public speaking as well as to get different ideas across. When we present to you guys, we do have our students bring up ideas and we present them, so I think it'd be fun and a good opportunity for them to present their own ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bolingbrook up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. I would like to especially thank Board Member Campbell for picking me for this position around the beginning of the school year. She picked me to help me practice my public speaking, and I think I've gotten pretty far with it. It's helped me with class presentations and being able to represent my fellow students. My fellow students have given me ideas like of the carnival that Dr. Pescavage is holding for seniors. And along with that, they have also given me ideas of like to come back to the high school as an alumni and help them with the student liaison presentation and other sports and whatnot. And along with this duty of being liaison, I was also one of the captains for the Bolingbrook Scholastic Bowl team. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, along with the community members and peers. It is with deep happiness, sadness, and satisfaction that this is my last board meeting. I would first like to thank all of you for allowing me this opportunity to represent my peers and to be their voice for the past 2 years. I'd also like to personally thank board member Ms. Campbell for her unfailing faith and encouragement. Furthermore, I'd like to thank Dr. Mitchum, even though he's not here, and anyone else who played a role in allowing me to participate in the National Individual Events Tournament of Champion this past weekend. It was so amazing and heartwarming to see that my teachers and administrators believed in their students and enabled them to achieve greatness. Me and my partner, Nicole Walker, placed 9th out of the entire nation. I've seen so, thank you. I've also seen so much improvement in my past 4 years as a student at Bolingbrook High School. Our AP testing numbers are the highest they've ever been. Our 5 Essentials survey results have increased exponentially, while the amount of detentions and referrals are lower than last year's. Change is caused by a catalyst, and I truly believe that Dr. Paskevich is that catalyst. Working alongside him has allowed me to pick his brain on the happenings inside of BHS. The amount of change I've seen has completely changed the school's culture. Dr. Paskevich entered Bolingbrook High School eager, ready to learn, and ready to change. My peers have expressed this exact same sentiment when I spoke with them, and I'm hopeful for our current and incoming freshmen who will truly experience this new era at BHS. I'm proud to call myself a product of Bolingbrook High School's education system, and I'd like to thank you again, members of the board, from the bottom of my heart for this privilege. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate having you, and just pass the word about your friends, about the election coming up for school board members that you guys are going to be running for, right? Petitions come out in December, so we will be talking, right? All righty. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Board members' liaison report from my left.
Thursday of last week, the calendar committee met. Member Gilbo and myself attended and went over the calendar, which you will review soon, for the 2019-2020 school year.
Thank you. From my right? Nobody. Audience participation. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? If so, please state your name, and remember that due to time restraints, you have 5 minutes. Okay, seeing none. Action report, Mr. Gerzafi.
Yes, the recommendation is to approve the student due process cases A through C as amended.
Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Action report, Ms. Kinder.
Yes, sir. Tonight we are bringing board policies for approval. Action report 11.1 is seeking approval on 3 board policies: 220, school board meeting procedure; 310, high school credit for non-district experiences, course substitutions, re-entering students; and 320, high school credit for proficiency. So in accordance with our normal standard procedure, policies are periodically reviewed in accordance with Illinois School Code and legal guidance.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Action report, Mr. Gerzafi, 12.1.
Yes, at the April 16th meeting, we presented a 6-year capital improvement project list for all of the school campuses throughout the district. The total budget estimate for these projects was just over $60 million. project information has been reviewed and fine-tuned with our Finance Committee at many meetings beginning back in November. The list had been prioritized into two primary categories. Priority A, completion of projects necessary to ensure safety and our welfare of student, staff, and the community. And Project B, same completion of projects which can be deferred beyond 3 years. In order to undertake and complete the Priority A projects, the district needs to issue working cash bonds, which are commonly used borrowing option for undertaking capital projects. The primary scenario presented involves an issuance not to exceed $26 million amortized for 20 years. The next steps after this evening would be to require a Bond Issuance Notification Act, or BINA hearing, to be held at our June 11th Board of Education meeting, along with an approval of parameters resolution, which would occur at the July 16th meeting, with the closing date targeted for August 14th. After the closing of the bond issue, the board would adopt abatement resolutions to move the bond proceeds from the working cash fund to the operations and maintenance fund, and then to the capital projects fund, from which proceeds could be spent. At this time, the recommendation is to approve Resolution 1810, declaring the intention to issue $26 million of working cash fund bonds for the purpose of increasing the district's working cash fund, and directing that notice of such intention be published in the manner provided by law.
Need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action Report 12.2 is a middle school boundary change. Currently, Robert C. Hill Elementary is the only elementary in the district that feeds into two separate middle schools, those being A. Vito Martinez and John J. Lukancic. The idea for a boundary change was proposed by both the principals of the affected schools. The change would allow students from R.C. Hill who currently attend A. Vito Martinez Middle School to instead attend John J. Lukancic School starting next school year. That was our original information report. This would impact approximately 20 students who normally transition from R.C. Hill to AVM. Due to concerns with the end-of-year timeline with the transition and staffing of students and staff, both middle school principals suggested we move forward with the proposal to make the AVM to John J. Lukancic boundary change effective for the 1920 school year instead of the 1819 school year. A parent link notification to inform parents that the proposal was still being made but would be effective for the following school year if the board approves had been sent. If a family would like to make an individual request to attend John J. Lukancic for the 1819 school year, they can submit a request in writing to the superintendent's office. At this time, we are recommending approval of the boundary change between Martinez and Lukancic Middle Schools effective for the 1920 school year.
Need a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Apologize.
I just had one question. I thought I read in there that if a family that had attended AVM still chose, they had other siblings that attended, that they could choose to still go there, that could be done also? Is that right?
That's correct. We are contemplating and strongly considering grandfathering provisions. At this time, we've got 9 R.C. Hill students who would be moving to JJL who currently have siblings at AVM. And so if their desire was to remain at AVM, all they would need to do was let us know that, and we would grant that request. After next year, 5 of those students who have siblings, that number would reduce to 5. So we go from 9 next year to 5 in 1920.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action Report 12.3 is a recommendation for tuck pointing and lintel repair at Jamie McGee. We had 3 bids that were opened and publicly read aloud on May 2nd. We are recommending approval of the lowest responsible bidder, that being Otto Baum Company, for the removal and replacement of the steel lintels and tuck pointing of exterior and interior masonry at Jamie McGee Elementary. Base bid and alternate 1 for a total of $369,200 pending legal review and approval of the contract.
Need a motion and a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action report 12.4, bids were received and read aloud on April 19th. We received 10 bids for the Bolingbrook High School Athletic Storage Building. We are recommending low bid be accepted from Integral Construction for a base bid of $213,200, as well as a alternate 2 for the roofing labor of $11,800. The district has agreed to accept a generous donation for the roofing material from Bennett Brousseau, a local roofing company located in Romeoville, who has done roofing work for the school district on various projects in the past and is a very reputable company and community member. And we thank them for their generous roofing donation to this project. The project is scheduled to start this month with substantial completion by July 24th, funding for which has been included in the operation and maintenance budget. So at this time, we are making the recommendation to award the contract to Integral Construction for the new storage building for the base bid plus alternate 2 in the amount of $225,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Final action report this evening is the recommendation to extend the waste management contract for 2 additional years as allowed by the original contract from July 1st, 2018 through June 30, 2020 for a total amount of $264,706. That includes both trash removal and the compactor rentals at various schools.
So moved.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Action report for Human Resources, Dr. Nash.
Thank you. This evening we have Action Report 13.1. We are seeking your approval for 48 items in certified personnel, 53 items for classified personnel, 5 items for classified administrative personnel, and 9 items for certified administrative personnel.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Did I get everybody? Okay. This evening in the Consolidated Action Report, we approved 4 administrative appointments. 3 of them are present this evening, and we would like to introduce them tonight to our Valley View community. First of all would be Mr. Charles Merrick, if he could please stand. Mr. Merrick has served Valley View since 2006 as an educator. He's been a department chair and most recently social studies core content administrator at Bolingbrook High School. He will be the assistant principal at Bolingbrook High School next year. Congratulations, Mr. Merrick. Next, we have Michelle Storman. She will be the new assistant principal at Independence Elementary School. Mrs. Storman is a veteran administrator and is returning to Valley View. She formerly served our students as a special education teacher. We want to welcome you back, Mrs. Storman. Congratulations. And finally, I'd like to ask Mrs. Kathy Nigro to come to the podium to be introduced. Mrs. Nigro will be assuming the role of principal at BJ Ward Elementary School. Mrs. Nigro has a wealth of experience since starting her career here in 2002. In addition to several teaching positions in the district, she's also spent the last 6 years as the assistant principal at R.C. Hill Elementary School.
Good evening, school board members, senior leadership, and Valley View community. I am absolutely honored to serve as BJ Ward's principal. I have always said that everything happens for a reason. This is just another example of that being true. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't everything that I've learned throughout my journey in Valley View. I do want to thank Mita Thompson, who did hire me in 2002 when BJ Ward was still a middle school. She pushed me to my limits. I sometimes fought her, but I always learned and rose to her expectations. I also want to thank Allison Ewald and Jody Ellis. Although I was only their AP, I always wanted to make their jobs as smooth as possible. They both taught me to learn most from my failures, but to remain true to myself. I want to thank my father. He instilled amazing qualities in me to be a good person, an honest worker, and I would not be the educator that I am today if I didn't have his guidance and support. I want to thank my husband, Danny. He's so patient and understanding with me. Many times he asks me if I'm married to him or my school. Lastly, I want to thank Dr. Mitchum. When I was an aspiring leader in the district, he gave me words of wisdom I'll never forget. Ultimately, I do want to carry on his view. I promise to serve the students, families, and staff of BJ Ward to the best of my ability. I won't be perfect, but I'll give it my all. Thank you.
Well, we welcome you to our families, the three of you, plus the one that is missing in action. The Superintendent's Information Report. (14.1). Dr. Nash. No, don't worry.
We have a minor technical difficulty.
Mine's already locked up, so. Does anybody have a computer working?
This evening, we have certified job descriptions for recruitment, evaluation, compensation, and benefits functions. Attached are the updated Special Education Assistive Technology Coordinator job descriptions. I would be happy to entertain any questions that you might have. We plan to seek approval for this job description at the May 29th board meeting.
I have a question. In the title, it says technology, but on the requirements, I don't see that they have to have any technology experience.
It does, and one of the first functions is specifically as it relates to assistive technology, so that's a very important role that this serves. It's the primary role.
Could you just explain kind of what they're going to be doing?
Explain the position. So this is an individual who works specifically with our learners with special needs, many who use devices for communicating or for other assistive purposes. So there's a wide range of knowledge that this individual must bring in terms of technology and how that integrates students to be able to fully participate in the curriculum or to provide supports to allow students to fully function and communicate with their peers in the classroom. So many of our students will have augmented devices and they will use these to engage in learning. And so this individual supports those students in their device utilization.
And they're for the whole district?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So they'll travel to all of the schools for all of the students that need?
Yes, we currently have a similar type of position, and that individual covers a lot of ground in meeting the needs of many learners across the district, and also supporting educators and making sure that they're able to instruct students fully to their needs and provide any accommodations that the students need with these devices.
Thank you. 14.2, Alice, Mr. Grzaffi.
At this time, I'd like to bring up Carter Larry, our Director of Safety and Security, to address Alice.
Good evening, President Pro Tem Zach, members of the board, senior administration, members of the community. On April 20th, 1999, the mass shooting at Columbine High School changed everything. Prior to Columbine, no one truly understood what an active shooter was. There were no lockdown procedures established at that time, and law enforcement would simply wait for a SWAT team to arrive and to respond to the critical incident. For a long time, school districts have utilized a single option response called lockdown drills. Lockdown tactics were initially developed and established in the late 1970s in Southern California. A lot of people don't realize that they were actually put in place to assist with drive-by shootings that were occurring in the community, and then to keep those individuals outside and the students inside the building. The problem is that lockdown drills are meant to just simply to safeguard against the shooter from attacking on the outside for just a few seconds. It wasn't put in place to assist with the gunman inside a school with a semi-automatic rifle for 5 minutes or so. With every unfortunate mass shooting at a school, law enforcement and school officials have learned something. There is a need to deviate from the traditional lockdown procedure and implement training that will maximize and increase student odds of survival. Multi-optional training like alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate, which is the ALICE acronym, enables the public to respond based on their circumstance and allows for the mitigation of casualties. The School Security and Standards Task Force recommended to the Governor Rauner's office that school districts should consider adopting procedures for students and staff to follow in the event of an intruder and/or breach of the facility and/or facility security. Such procedures may include run, hide, fight, alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate, which is ALICE, or any other procedure/program deemed appropriate for the needs of the students and staff as determined by the school or school district in consultation with local law enforcement. It is recommended that any such procedure or program be easily understood and applicable to both faculty and students, help empower faculty and students to make life-saving choices and to take control of a situation until local law enforcement arrives. And it also builds a delay mechanism that provides local law enforcement additional time to respond and to react. We currently have 4 certified ALICE instructors to train the district, and I'm one of them. The cost to attend a 2-day instructor training course is approximately $589. The cost of all the SROs within the school district to become instructors is $2,945. However, the Romeoville Police Department is now currently trying to host a class. In doing so, and if we're fortunate enough to host, this will allow us to send officers for free. Another alternative to assist the district with training is that my counterparts from surrounding school districts have elected to loan out certified trainers to assist with ALICE implementation. Now, I am presenting this information to you tonight purely to advise the board of the direction that the school district will be moving in. This is not something that will take place overnight. This will be a rather daunting task and would take a minimum of 2 years to appropriately put into place to get the entire district staff trained and the students. First and foremost, I'd have to meet with senior administration to create a planning committee to find out the way to implement this, from a best practice standpoint. Because again, training. It'll probably take at least a year to get all the staff trained appropriately. Are there any questions? With that, thank you.
Thank you.
Information report 14.3 is regarding purchase of driver's ed vehicles. Both high schools are currently using vehicles that date to model year 2008 with current odometer readings between 107 and 123,000 miles. Fair to say we've gotten our money's worth out of the vehicles. We've incorporated into our 17-18 budget an allocation of $75,000 to replace several of these vehicles. Quotes and vehicle details were solicited for both a Chevy Malibu and a Hyundai Sonata, both of which were selected by the driver's education staff for use in the program. After some research and test drives of both vehicles, the department staff, they are recommending purchase of the Hyundai Sonata. We've been leasing the same vehicle for several years for summer school, and they have been very reliable, to say the least. The Sonata comes standard with safety features such as blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert and lane change assist. The Hyundai also has a better warranty. The pricing is listed there in the information report, and we're hoping to bring that back to you at our May 29th meeting.
Gary, will they have these vehicles for the summer school?
What I'm really looking to do is scour our budget to see if we can't find some additional money to replace not 3 but 5 vehicles. If we do that, we would be able to use the Chevys for the summer and avoid having to lease any vehicles this summer, which should save us about $2,500, at least for the summer. And then we'll have to determine if it's best to keep those cars just for summer use, or if it would be best to dispose of them and then just lease vehicles as we do every summer to drive more of the students.
Okay.
Okay, information 14.4. As a component of the 5-year tech plan, the goal is to continue to grow and improve the hardware, infrastructure, services, and support available to students, staff, and stakeholders within the district. Beginning with virtual server replacements, virtual servers provides the district with distinct benefits over traditional physical server farms, including lower hardware costs, increased uptime, improved disaster recovery and backups, increased productivity, and significant energy and space savings cost. Servers run instructional applications such as Star 360, risk of harm applications, student document and file servers, student document and print servers. Operational applications and services are listed there. I won't read through them, but you can basically see that they're very integral into the technology operations of our school district. They are proposing a purchase of 2 additional Dell servers with a 7-year warranty, 80 terabyte of hard drive, and 768 gigs of RAM. So these are obviously very enterprise class type of units. The second component of the technology upgrades is a cloud backup infrastructure. We currently are proposing to move to a point-in-time manual backup and restore processes to an automated cloud environment. We moved to the utilization of cloud locations back in 2010 when we implemented our own private cloud. The private cloud has since been phased out with the availability, security, and cost of public cloud computing environments, and has become more secure, affordable, and available. Benefits of which would be advanced disaster recovery capabilities, advanced security features, increased efficiency and reliability, scalability with capital savings, enhanced data accessibility. The final component of the technology upgrades would be the high school classroom technology refresh pilot. Almost every classroom within each high school includes a projector, a screen, and some have direct access to interactive whiteboards or smartboards and document cameras. We've selected 22 classrooms throughout the district to replace those units, which some are bordering on 10 years old. There's been a lot of research done, and they evaluated 6 projectors, narrowing the selection to an Epson PowerLight WXGA. Staff will be provided a touchscreen Windows 10 laptop or flip screen touchscreen Chromebook to be used as a mobile input device, and to ensure quality image and maximum viewing size, a modern 16.9 aspect ratio pull-down screen with at least 80 inches in width will also be included in each of the rooms. The proposed scope of the project includes the following changes for all 22 high school classrooms in the pilot, which currently have ceiling-mounted projectors. The timeline of this pilot will coincide with fall and early winter 2018, after which evaluations will be done to determine if this is the best course of action to proceed. We'll be bringing an action report to you on May 29th for you to review, which will propose moving forward with these infrastructure upgrades. The goal would be to begin these projects following funding approval and complete the server backup projects this summer, and the pilot as outlined above. The district's technology lease funds would be utilized to pay for these initiatives. Questions? Nope. Annual consolidated instructional and operations software renewal. This is something we bring to you annually. We've got 18 titles listed there. They're broken up into 2 primary categories: the instructional software support renewals. Those are many programs and applications that are used to deliver curriculum and/or services directly to students. There's 9 titles listed there, along with 2 that are not listed, or at least listed in detail. That would be Education 2020 and BoardMaker. The second category would be operations software support renewals. There's 7 titles listed there. Those would be more enterprise level applications, which are used, if you will, behind the scenes for things like substitute assignments, timekeeping, our electronic timekeeping, Microsoft software, as well as our finance system. And so again, we'll be bringing this renewal back to the next meeting for approval on that. Any questions on those? Final information report, in keeping with Strategy 9 update and the focus on one-to-one limitless learning initiative, and as part of our overall strategic plan and continuous improvement process, the technology department's role was to create a 5-year tech plan as part of its Goal 5 Strategy 9. So at this time, I'm going to invite Astrid Welch, our Executive Director of Technology, to present.
Thank you, Mr. Grasafi. Good evening, President Pro Tem Zak, members of the board, senior administration, and family and community members of Valley View School District. I'm Astrid Welch, and it's my pleasure to be the Executive Director of Technology. And this evening, I'd like to provide you with an update to the district's strategic plan, specifically the creation of a 5-year technology plan with a specific emphasis on our one-to-one initiative that we're in year 2 of. I'd like to thank my colleagues who worked with me collaboratively on this strategy. They are members of the technology leadership team, members of our schools, our administrative services team, student services, and our curriculum team members. So it's really been a joint effort. When we began this process under the leadership of Assistant Superintendents Grasafi and Kinder, we were, excuse me as I move the slide here. Thank you, Lucas. When we began this process of assessing a 5-year technology strategy, we recognized that to define the items that we would be having in our classrooms for our staff and students to utilize in 5 years was not going to be an appropriate way to approach this. Many of the devices that our students and staff use now were not currently available 5 years ago or not readily available. So instead, we focused on some core values that technology should have and the staff that support that. And we came up with a RAISE acronym that stands for Reliable, Accessible, Innovative, Secure, and Sustainable and Equitable Technology. And I'd like to share with you a video that sums that up very well. Thank you, team. So how do we measure our success in providing technology for our learners and educators? We've been utilizing the Bright Bytes survey data, which is a nationally normed survey that we have administered 3 times now over a 2-year period. So we have 3 data points, and this provides us with a measure of how mature we are on the integration of technology into teaching and learning at Valley View. And this year, over 9,300 students took the survey, and over 700 educators provided us with that. So let's take a look at some of the success stories that we have had. This is the first year that the technology integration at Valley View School District now exceeds national norms, and we had a 29-point growth in 2 years. Average yearly growth is 5 to 10 points, and the areas that we've really been focusing on over the past couple of years have shown the most amount of growth. I'd like to focus on the accessibility to technology that we have right now. We have seen over a 41-point growth in our accessibility area of technology, and both our students and staff report that they have excellent access to technology, both here in the school and also at home. Another area that we've been very successful with, which is the hardest area to grow, is our innovative use of technology into teaching and learning, and we saw a 39-point growth over the 2 years. Again, 5 to 10 points is the average yearly growth. And in that, we have seen excellent utilization of the 4 Cs that our educators are working with our students and all our learners. Equity of access to technology is something that we have a huge area of celebration. This is our 2nd year of one-to-one, and our middle school students who were the first to go one-to-one as 7th and 8th graders report that 90% of them report that they use Chromebooks on a daily basis. Our elementary and high school students who are only in year 1 of the one-to-one Chromebook deployment are using their Chromebooks. 70% are reporting that they're using their Chromebooks on a daily basis. So both our students and staff are reporting exemplary levels of access to technology. As a strategy team, we also now look for what are we going to focus on over the next few years. And we're going to increase our commitment and our collaboration with our curriculum teams to increase the innovative use of technology in teaching and learning. We're wanting to ensure that students and staff are using technology securely and have an excellent level of digital citizenship knowledge. And the technology that they're utilizing should be reliable and sustainable. And in support of that, we are ensuring that while we've had an enormous growth in the areas of accessibility and equitability, we want to maintain skills and ensure that our students and staff skill levels are unanimous. And that they have excellent digital citizenship skills. That's an area of growth for us. And then we're also wanting to ensure that despite the large increase in work orders that we've had with the influx of devices, that the support that we provide as a technology department remains solid. So this is a quote that we as a technology team and as a strategy team have kind of taken to heart, is that technology will never replace an educator, but technology in the hands of great teachers is transformational. And I'd like to share another video with you, which is the voice of our educators and some of their successes that across the middle and high school level of the one-to-one year initiative. Thank you. I apologize. I hope we can bring that to you. Mike DeLeon, our instructional technology specialist.
Maybe you could just email it to all of us?
I apologize, it's a shame. We interviewed 8 educators across all 5 middle schools and the 2 high schools, and they spoke about how the technology, the one-to-one initiative, has really grown their instruction, how they're using it for the CFA process, some of the ways that they're reaching students outside the classroom. It's an enormous success story, and we'll be sure to email that to you. Could I answer any questions that you may have?
Would you be able to email us the first one as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. That's why reliability is a key component there.
Legal service, any report? No report. Thank you. AFT, any report? Thank you. Valley View Council, any report?
Yes. Good evening. I'm Michelle Tampa. I'm the AVM Union Rep. Hi. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of the Valley View Council. Last night, the Valley View Council awarded 3 $1,000 scholarships to the following Bolingbrook High School students: Reagan Hagen, Brandon Mazal, I'm not sure about that pronunciation, and Julian Herrera. Tomorrow night is the RHS award ceremony, where 3 more $1,000 scholarships will be awarded, but it's a surprise and we're not going to ruin it. So those scholarships will be awarded by the Romeoville High School rep, Mary Beth Scott, to those 3 RHS seniors, and thanks. That's it.
Thank you. Valley View Office Personnel Council, any report? Thank you. Any old business from the board? Any new business from our board? Any questions from the public on any action that has taken tonight? Any announcements from the board? Any announcements from the administration?
Oh, I had an announcement. Sorry, I'm a little late. I just want to acknowledge again Shannon Ham. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I used to coach a softball team of 9-year-old to 12-year-old girls. And Shannon was on that team and was one of the best pitchers in the whole league. And we were going for the playoffs and going to play in the championship game, and she had to go on vacation. And her family brought her home from vacation to play that game, to pitch that game. That's from a young age, her family helped and supported her. And now to see how great she's doing as an adult and helping other kids is awesome.
Any announcements from the public? Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you for attending tonight.